All right. What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys enjoyed your Christmas. Hope you spent time with your family and had a fun celebration. We got one last game to take care of before the postseason. It's the Week 17 finale between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. This does feature playoff implications, not for the Ravens, but for the Steelers. The Ravens have already secured the #1 seed in the AFC, first time in franchise history. Whoop whoop. But for the Steelers, they need to win this game, and they need to hope that the Titans lose to the Texans in order for them to make it in. So they're trying to make the playoffs. They're going to do everything they can in order to win this game, so they're going to be on their A game, which means we got to come out and be on our A game. Now, granted, a bunch of our starters aren't playing in this game. Some include Lamar Jackson, Mark Ingram, and Earl Thomas. We already know about that. A bunch of starters aren't playing this game. But, quite a few starters will be playing, and RG3 is going to be the starter. We may see some Trace McSorley later on in the game, but we'll see how that goes. So those guys, they're going to be ready, they're going to be fierce, they're going to be competitive, and they want to win this game. Just because this game doesn't really affect the playoff seeding doesn't mean you don't want to beat your divisional rival, because it'd be really sweet. What is sweeter than knocking out the Pittsburgh Steelers out of the playoff? You want to take down the Steelers, ruin their season as you go on into the postseason. Man, Ravens would love to do that. Plus, you want to go into the postseason with a win. You don't want to go into the postseason with a Week 17 loss, because it kind of feels like it ruins the momentum, especially since you've been riding this 11-game winning streak. Now, again, we know it's not the starters playing, but still, just as a team, you want to go into the playoffs, especially since you have a bye week. You want to go into the bye week with the win. It just feels good. It makes everyone feel good, and it keeps up that level of confidence. So they got to come out and win this game. So what's the game plan? Offense. RG3 is the one taking over, so you already know what to expect. He can run this system too, not nearly as effectively and as explosively as Lamar Jackson, as we all know, because Lamar Jackson is going to be the MVP. But RG3 is still a very great quarterback. He knows the system. He knows how to play it, so he's going to be running the very same system Lamar is going to be doing. However, he's probably not going to be taking those carries and taking off for runs as much as Lamar. We know RG3 can't really do that anymore. At this point in his career, he's not really taking off and running nearly as much, especially the way Lamar is running. Nah, RG3's not doing that. So the game plan for this game is going to be running the football, and I'm expecting both Gus Edwards and Justice Hill to have a lot of the carries. They're going to be running a lot in this game, because when it comes to that Steelers defense, you can't really throw the football on them, man. Since they got Minkah Fitzpatrick, their entire defense has been transformed, and they're one of the toughest defenses to play. They force turnovers, they make stops, and they basically force you to make mistakes, and they will lock you down. So that defense is fierce. We saw a bit of that when we faced off against them in Week 5. Lamar had probably his worst game. He had 3 interceptions in that game, which it was really only 1 interception. The first interception was on defensive pass interference, and the third interception wasn't even an interception. But then again, they counted on his record, so it's there, 3 interceptions. Plus, we couldn't really move the ball that much in that game. We were really ineffective. After we went up 17-7 with that touchdown pass to Hollywood Brown, our offense couldn't really do anything. We got 3 points in the second half, and then we couldn't do anything until maybe the last drive where we ended up tying the game, and then we went into overtime. Our offense still couldn't do anything, and if it wasn't for Marlon Humphrey punching the ball out of Juju's hands, we probably would have lost that game. So yeah, that defense is fierce, and they're going to come out, especially with their season on the line, they're going to come out and play a very fierce game against our offense. So you want to run the football just the way we've been doing, try to establish that, and they want to put the ball in RG3's hands and force him to make a play. You know what RG3 is made of. He's going to make some good plays, he's going to make some bad plays, but I feel like he's going to make more good plays than bad plays in this game, and he's going to help us win this game. But for the most part, you got to focus on running this football. Gus Edwards and Justice Hill, they're going to be the key focal point in this offense on Sunday. You got to run the football with them. And if they can create something on the ground game, it's going to open up the pass game for RG3. He's not going to have to do too much, because we're going to be really conservative in this game, not trying to throw anything complex there. It's going to be a very conservative game for the offensive plan. Defensively, you got to stop the big plays. I went back and looked at that Steelers-Ravens game we had back in Week 5 against Pittsburgh. It was one thing I noticed, whether it was Mason Rudolph or Hodges, they were moving the ball down the field really effectively against us. Until Mason Rudolph got knocked out of that game, he moved the ball down the field really easily. He didn't have a problem. Besides the whole dumb wildcat play they ran in the first drive that ended up getting picked off, they really had no problem moving the football. Mason Rudolph even had a big play to Juju for that touchdown pass in which he caught it and he broke a tackle against Marlon Humphrey and got in the end zone for a touchdown, Mason Rudolph didn't have a problem moving the football down the field against our defense. And when Hodges came in, he himself didn't have a problem moving the football down the field either. They would have won that game had Juju not punched the ball. Had Marlon Humphrey not punched the ball out of Juju's hands. So they had no problem moving the ball down the field and creating big plays. So our defense, the focus needs to be stop the big plays. They're having a tough time running the football, so we ain't really got to worry about that, but you have to stop the big plays. You know they're going to throw the ball down the field. They're looking for two guys. They're looking for Juju and they're looking for Washington. You know they're going to throw the ball down the field. You know they're looking for big plays because their run game ain't really setting up anything right now. So especially if they're behind in the game, they're throwing the ball down the field. So look to stop the big plays. Now, granted, our defense is tremendously better now compared to where it was when they faced off with Pittsburgh in week 5. So it's definitely a difference, but that should be the main focus for the defense. Stop the big plays, try to get to Hodges, try to make him uncomfortable and force him to make mistakes. Many defenses have forced him to make mistakes this season. So try to be another defense, do the same, and just don't give up any big plays to Juju or Washington. And that's really much you got to do. You know, that's really it. Special teams, try not to make any mistakes. Try to play a clean game for the most part in the kick return game and punt return game. You don't want to muff the punt, so just focus on that. And otherwise, you know, it's not much to do for the special teams. We already know what Justin Tucker is. We already know what Sam Kush is. We already know what our special team unit is. We know that Wolfpack is going to be on point every single time. They're always on point every Sunday. We ain't got to worry about them. But other than that, yeah, special teams, keep it clean. Keep it clean. Don't muff any punts. Don't set up the Steelers in good field position. And just, that's really it. So yeah, overall, offense, run the football. Like we've always been doing. Run the football, play a conservative style offense. That's really what we're going to be doing on Sunday. Just run the football, give good looks to RG3, and let him do what he's got to do. Defense, don't give up any big plays to Hodges. Don't give up any big plays and let Juju or Washington go off. Because if one of those guys goes off, it's going to be a problem trying to stop them. And special teams, keep it clean. Don't muff any punts. And expect Justin Tucker and that Wolfpack to be on point as usual. I believe the Ravens are going to win this game 24-20. They're going to take down the Steelers. They're going to finish the season off 14-2, which will give us our best record ever in franchise histories, which would be nice. And the Steelers are going to miss the playoffs. That's just how I see it. I believe RG3 is probably going to have a touchdown pass. I think it's going to be touchdown galore for everybody. Touchdown pass from RG3, a touchdown run from Gus Edwards, and I think Justice Hill, he's going to get his second touchdown run of the season. That's just how I see it. It's going to be mostly a run-based type of situation. I don't know how many of the starters are actually playing on the offense, but we'll see. But yeah, other than that, I think it's going to be touchdown from RG3, touchdown from Gus Edwards, and touchdown from Justice Hill. I believe the defense is going to force Hodges to throw 2 interceptions. They're still going to put points on the board, but it's going to be kind of a situation that the Steelers have been in the last 3-4 games, where they're down by a possession and they need to either tie or score to take the lead. The Hodges is going to try and force the ball down the field. He's going to make a mistake, and he's going to get picked off, and the game's going to end there. That's really how I see it going. So we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a pretty fun game. It's kind of relaxing to not really have to worry about this game being a huge playoff implication for us, and it's kind of just a fun game to watch and see how it goes because we're already in the playoffs. We got nothing to worry about. We also got that first round bye, so we really ain't got nothing to worry about. We'll be ready when we have to play that playoff game, but right now it's just kind of a fun game, and we'll see how this. I can't wait to see what RG3 does. I want to see him play. It'd be nice. He's still got something left in the tank, so let's see how he plays. But yeah, other than that, I believe the Rams are going to win this game. Shouldn't really have a problem. It's going to be a very tough defensive game. We're going to make plays. They're going to make plays. And we're going to make a stop at the end. All right, that's all I got for this preview. This was terrible. I took like several takes to make this. And I still feel like this is the worst take I've done out of all of them. But I'm not doing this again. So hope you guys enjoy. That's all I got. And I'm out of here. Go Ravens!